Well, there have been many stories to report on in Newfoundland and Labrador this year. A $3 million search of the sea. 10 protesters rallied around the provincial legislature, and police announced an arrest in a 7-year-old missing persons investigation. Beth Penney from NTV News is joining us this morning. She is live from St. John's. She's breaking down the top stories from the region. Beautiful view behind you, Beth. Let us know where you are, and let's chat about the first story, which is that search for the Titan undersea submersible and the 5 people on board. The entire world was watching this search play out. There was media from all over the world, but what did it look like on the ground in Newfoundland?
Certainly. Thanks, Anne-Marie. Actually, right here, we're at St. John's Harbour side park, right in front of St. John's Harbour. And this is exactly where a lot of vessels made their way in to reach the search effort for the Titan submersible, which was about 600 kilometers off of the coast of this province. You know, just to recap, OceanGate was the company that would offer tourism expeditions to view the wreckage of the Titanic. And that's exactly what those 5 men back in June were on their way to do. When their ship, their companion vessel, the Polar Prince, lost connection with the Titan as it submerged to view the wreckage of the Titanic. And then what prompted was this massive international search. And we saw, hundreds of media personnel here in the city of St. John's as well, which is something we don't see very often. There was sort of, the world was watching. There was almost a ticking clock for a while when U.S. Coast Guard officials said that there would be about 96 hours of available oxygen on board. And I think a lot of viewers probably could remember those early days as well. Unfortunately, just a couple of days later, they did find a debris field as well as human remains, which they said would equal the catastrophic implosion of the Titan submersible. So that was certainly the story of the year here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and one that I'm sure a lot of Canadians were watching as well.
Yeah, Beth, when you first popped up on the screen, I thought I recognized that scene behind you because there was so much reporting that was happening from that part of the world on this story. 2023, if you go a little further inland, saw tent encampment protests across parks and other public spaces in Newfoundland, and they were demonstrating against the province's shelter system. So, Beth, outline for the rest of the country, what are the challenges there, and what progress has there been in the government's response?
Yeah. So we know across Canada that, homelessness and issues surrounding homelessness is something that's been on the rise this year. It's something that we expected to see here in Newfoundland and Labrador at some point, and that kind of came in early October when we saw protesters bring their tents right across from the province's legislature, right across from the Confederation building, and they were protesting for more affordable housing efforts as well as better shelter conditions. Many saying that they didn't want to go back and stay in a shelter where they might be subjected to, people who are, who are still having addictions issues, and that would kind of bring them back into that state through addictions issues as well. So there has been progress. It did prompt many announcements from government of to build more accessible and affordable housing in Newfoundland and Labrador. However, there are still, this tent encampment still exists, although government officials did say that they were expected to have found all these 30-some people housing by Christmas Eve. That hasn't happened yet, but government officials as early as yesterday still saying they're working hard to resolve these issues.
Yeah, and that's a situation that is echoed right across the country. Beth, finally, the arrest earlier this month of Dean Penney for the murder of his former wife, Jennifer Hillier Penney. Hillier Penney, we know, had been missing since 2016. So walk us through the details of this 7-year-old case, and then what happens next with her former husband?
That's right. So it's been 7 years. Jennifer Hillier Penney was last seen on November 30th of 2016. Her daughter and family members have been crying out to police asking for justice for Jennifer Hillier Penney for the last 7 years. And some of that justice, I suppose you could say, just came earlier this month as police arrested her estranged husband, Dean Penney, in Deer Lake. Now, her remains, Jennifer Hillier Penney's remains, still have not yet been found. However, police say that they did have enough evidence that that they felt that they could arrest her estranged husband, Dean Penney, and charge him with first-degree murder. For especially people here on the Northern Peninsula, it's been a story that's been heartbreaking for the past 7 years. So right now, Dean Penney has only appeared in court, I believe, once or twice. He's expected to answer to those charges with ongoing court proceedings in the new year.
A story that you'll continue to follow closely. Hey, Beth, great to speak to you today. Thank you so much. And to your entire team at NTV for all of your great coverage this year. And we wish all of you a very happy new year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.